Yo. To be perfectly honest, I almost hit stop streaming instead of transition for the scenes, and that would have been silly. Anyway, hey, it's me. I'm Bryce. And this is Eggbug, who is, the mascot of Cohost. We do love our Eggbug. So yeah, well, hey, this is just kind of a weird one. Just been feeling bummed about Co-host basically all month. Today is like the last day for posting, but I think I've got everything out that I wanted to get out on Co-host. So really, we're just going to be poking around my Warrior of Lights Co-host page because it's where I was posting screenshots and art stuff and all sorts of art reference things and whatnot. So well, hey, that's the plan here, is go look at things and appreciate some of the incredible art that people have made and whatnot. And also Eggbug. So I don't know. It's a co-host. Co-host kind of, I don't know. For me, it came out of somewhat of nowhere. I'm gonna put on some sort of background music here, actually, real quick. Let's get that nice and low. God, like no matter what I do, it's like my music always seems to be so loud in OBS. Just drag you down to like 5%. And there we go. Music player, are you working? Yes, great. Anyway, so yeah, I'm one of those people who basically, when Twitter started melting down, ran away to Co-host, but not too seriously and not seriously enough, I guess. And it really sucks. Co-host was great. It was just like a nice place. The post editor is phenomenal, and like I used it in a weird way, but also like it kind of encouraged that. So I don't know. Basically, Twitter started melting down. Was looking for alternatives. Co-host came up as something that a bunch of a bunch of online friends were going into this space. So it's like, okay, sure, I'll throw my hat in the ring and get over here. And it was just like, oh hey, it's just a nice place for like long form posts. The like tenets of like, hey, no ads, no tracking, no dumb algorithm, you just get things like in order, only who you follow and all of that stuff. And like the business model was like, hey, you can pay us. And eventually there was this whole idea of Co-host becoming like somewhere that you could actually like support people. They had this whole concept of egg bucks that was going to be like similar to like Patreon or any of the other hundreds of offerings at this point, I feel like, of hey, here's a place where you can support people, and maybe Co-host takes a little bit off the top, or maybe I don't know entirely what the Co-host gets paid side of it was, because unfortunately Eggbucks never came to fruition. The what kind of happened is like back in July, Stripe, who Co-host was building around, changed their terms of service in a way that sank the entire idea of Eggbucks. And that I think is kind of like the big thing about like the big thing that's ultimately is killing Co-host. It's just like, here's their entire monetization model, and like it's just unfeasible now. So unfortunately, we're not going to see any of this cool stuff. Like, this was going to be huge. It was going to be neat. And I've seen other people posting metrics around Cohost, and like Cohost has posted some of their own metrics as well. And like in terms of an activated user base, Cohost is wild. Like any website would like kill for the numbers for the most, like in terms of like the user stuff of like active users and people, coming back and all of that stuff. Percentage wise, all that stuff's super, super high. It's a very activated user base, and like people are posting in their own spaces of just like how effective, like pointing people to cool stuff from Cohost like actually is, because people like actually go and follow through, and that's super cool. It just sucks that this space is going away because, several reasons, but like the biggest one is just like it was never profitable, and so many years down the line, the development team's burnt out, and it's unfortunate. If I had $10 million, I would probably, try to keep Cohost alive, but unfortunately, I do not have that money. Anyway, I think that's enough rambling about Cohost in a general concept. So how I used Cohost was largely, one of my favorite things about Cohost, and this is something I love, is that they had like just this super easy drop down. You can change your profile. So it made it super easy for me to like actually just make a space specifically for Astraea. And like I have my own space and I'm following some people there and whatnot, but like I almost never use the site as my main profile. I have this like secondary profile where I would just like upload images because of how the posts worked. They had kind of a workaround for limitations of how images were posted. So you could just throw images into a draft or into like this private sort of account, and you could still link directly from those. So it was just like, hey, cool, I have like me somewhere to just post images so that I can format posts how I want to. And then there was Astraea, which is kind of the whole, like, this is what I use Cohost for, primarily. So yeah, let's dig into Astraea things. So, well, hey, pinned post, pin tags, all sorts of cool things, features that I'm still not sure. Do words. I'm still not sure. Like Blue Sky has pinned post. They also don't support GIFs yet, and that's frustrating. But yeah, it was just like the color scheme and everything kind of felt old school, but it's just nice, I guess. And like I ultimately love how they did these header images, because like this is of course a like standard 16:9 screenshot, but like I forget the exact aspect ratio that they're throwing this image into, but like this positioning in this like super ultra wide screenshot, just it looks so good. It looks real good. Love it. Yeah, primarily I used Cohost. It's just like, here's where I'm going to put Astraea things. I had for a long time, here it is. So this was kind of like the magnum opus, what I was always working on Cohost, was this master reference page for Astraea, so that whenever I give artists commissions, I could like hand them. Do I have that note in here somewhere? No, it's on something else. But I had this page that I was always working on to try to figure out like the best way to hand a pile of reference to artists. And I had a thought. It's gone. Anyway. Okay, that I forgot. I made that just link directly to this. This image is huge. And it's at 73%, by the way. Like, the actual, like, raw image this comes from is enormous. I don't remember why I went with quite as large of a size as I did. Frankly, like, 50% still is really quite big. I think ultimately it's just like, hey, I want to make sure that there are very large screenshots. And even then, it's like, look at, this is all sorts of blurry and pixelated and whatnot, because it's like, I couldn't get the camera close enough for that aspect. It was like, as a base, Cohost had like a 5 megabyte attachment limit, which, you know, a very, very large PNG is more than 5 megabytes. But hey, it's time for some Dan art. So fun fact, this is the first art commission that I did that came back. And boy howdy, this is a high standard to set as your initial art reference. I always like to shout out my artists and whatnots. We're going to throw that link into chat. I do shoutouts, but I think Twitch has like a limit on shoutouts, and not all of these are going to be linking to Twitch, I think. Anyway, so yeah, this was my first commission that actually came back, and good God, Dan knocked it out of the park. Just this is the standard. It also kind of set, it's just like, nope, this is like what Astraea's figure sits at. It's like, I have all of this stuff down in the bottom about like, hey, she's a succubus, so of course she's hot, and like has dimensions of stuff. And Dan owned it. Like, I am still just so giddy and happy with this piece. This is so heckin' incredible. And it's why it's like, hey, here's like screenshot reference, and also this is like her physical size. This is what she looks like. Sliders be damned and whatnot. Man, like, ultimately it's like, this big post was trying to capture, it's like, okay, so here's like the short version, here's like the screenshot version, here's like the headcanon, like physical attributes and dimensions and whatnot. I know like a lot of ours will like ask for personality things. I always kind of want to like rework this into like a shorter pile of text, but ultimately it's like, it's fine as is. I think bullet points work, and there's not too many bullet points. I think if I added one more bullet point, it's just like, okay, that's overboard. Again, mentioning, hey, she's half succubus, here's what that means, just random little bits. And then there's this, which is this is the other big fun thing about Cohost, is that you get to mix HTML markup, and you get to mix like actual HTML. I think there's some stuff that they will like strip out, but ultimately I got to make this like super fancy big grid of all of the outfits. it's like there's one for each job, and then some jobs have multiple variations. Like I have 2 for crafters because I can never quite decide which of these tops I like more. And then there's like, hey, Paladin's my main, so here's the 6 different flavors of Paladin that I've done. I know last year, was it last year? I think it was last year. I was trying to mix up my glams a lot more. Just because it's like, what do I want to do in Final Fantasy XIV that's fun? And coming up with different glams was a good time. It was like, hey, here's a nice, fun summer glam. The winter glam I've been kind of using on and off for the last couple winters. At some point, I got like the ingredients to this top. And it's like, okay, I want to make a glam centered around this. What works? Halloween, fall, fun times. This was like originally kind of a November harvest glam. It's been my main glam for like the better part of this year. And then there's the classic, is usually how Astraea would be dressed as a paladin. And all of these link to their own reference page, which have varying amounts of they have varying styles. Like, I think this one is a different style. Yeah. So it's like this one I have sat down and like compiled this whole reference sheet with like the full 8 turnaround and some vibe screenshots. And there's just like, here's just her standing there. In moving this stuff off of Cohost, I have kind of reworked how I'm doing like the here's some images. But for the most part, it's like if I have put together like an actual reference sheet thing, then I have the reference sheet. Otherwise, it's like, here's kind of the 3 core turnarounds. And this is the only outfit I'm using this shot from the right in math, shot from Astraea's right instead of the shot from Astraea's left, because for whatever reason, this, like, her arm just kind of obscures enough of the outfit from the other side. But it's like, it's only on this outfit. I don't know why. It might have just been like when I took that screenshot or something. But we've got our vibes, we've got little blurbs, all of this stuff. So like every single one of these outfits has like, here's an individual reference page. And this is like why this was kind of magnum opus, long time project stuff I was working on forever. And like I started working on this thing forever ago, and then like basically started working on these sorts of screen reference, or these sorts of reference sheets for each job, and they take forever, so I've not gotten through all of them. All of the screenshots that I took for these are also at this point a couple years old, which are not entirely great. I also took them on the PS4 version of the game, or no, these were taken on the PC version of the game, but running at 1920 by 1080, whereas these are captured with like the PS5 screenshot button, which saves them at whatever, it's twice the resolution basically. So these images are huge, but they're also JPEGs, which makes them like surprisingly, like, JPEG is actually really good at compression for file size junk. But yeah, this is a huge image, so you can like really zoom in and get in there to like look at details. And yeah, okay, fine. Some of the JPEGification is going to happen, so it's like, it's not going to be entirely super pixel accurate down to every single pixel, but like I think ultimately like these are just higher quality screenshots over what I'm using in these reference sheets. Anyway. So ultimately, like, I was working on this in kind of secret for a long, long time. I will get down to the post that I mentioned way back when, that's like, hey, I'm working on a thing that I never got around to sharing until after news about Cohost shutting down, because it was just like, hey, here's I have all of these drafts. Like, every single one of these posts was sitting around as a draft. And that's the other great thing about Cohost, is that you can have these draft posts, you can keep them in secret, and you can link to them, and you can link to images embedded in them, and all of that stuff. So it's like, here's just like a really you can have all these secret projects, but you can also link to them. And that was super great. So basically, when news broke that Cohost was shutting down, it's like, okay, let me go have a think and then go through all of my drafts and see what I want to release out, because like, I worked really hard on this stuff for a long, long time, and like, I kept going back to it and touching it up, and like, eventually figured out like how grids work in HTML and whatnot. Turns out, man, they're actually pretty easy. Yeah. We have, of course, just the post of when I got this back from Dan. And good Lord, it's still so great. How do I want to do any of this stuff? So this is actually, I think, one of the more important posts. I have no idea how legible any of this is on stream, by the way, but that's okay. This is for me. We are getting way too many. Let's just close some tabs. Eggbug can stay. This is one of my better posts that I wanted to get out there pretty early on. It was just like, here's a commission template for people. And like, I have enjoyed commissioning artists so much over the last couple years. Like, good gravy. Again, when this comes back as the first commission that you get, it's real easy to get hooked. But like, as I've been noodling on commissions and like doing other commissioning other artists and whatnot, it's like, okay, there's certain things that I'm recognizing between like their various forms or like what they request and whatnot. So it's like, okay, here's like just a template of a commission idea to get things, just to get things ready. And like, I've got my general reference, which is the big master reference page, and then this links directly to Dan's art, because again, this is canonically Astraea's figure. Sliders be damned. And then it's just like, okay, have like some brief short description. If you have any pose ideas, screenshots, sketches, anything that you can do to throw that in there. And then also like any details about the outfit. And basically when Cohost mentioned, you know, when it was announced Cohost was shutting down, this is one of those things I wanted to get out there just because it's like, hey, commissioning artist is the coolest thing. Please do it. And if, like me, you didn't really know how to get started doing that, here's a template. Here's a thing. Just anything that we can provide to help people commission artists. Anything along those lines. It's just like, I just want that to exist. And I want it to be easy to find. And I don't know how easy it is to find on Cohost, but like, at the very least, I have pointed at some other people. Like, I know at some point somebody was asking in, I think it was in Dan's chat, because he was taking commissions at the time. like how to write up commission like a commission request or commission idea or whatever. And it's like, hey, here's this page, and that's why there are these little short descriptions here. And this extra bit at the top was added before I released it from draft jail, because like ultimately, as it says, it's like, hey, commissioning artists is awesome, please do it. And I also started using the commission idea tag for things. Well, hey, pin tags on Cohost. So like, this is all just displaying in reverse chronological order. But ultimately it's like, hey, here's some... I wanted to put the commission reference idea request things. It's like, I wanted to not just have like the blanket template, I wanted to also have like, here's examples. So I released a lot of these things from draft jail, which I had written up specifically for like artists at the time. And in releasing them from draft jail, I also like pointed as like, hey, here's the piece that this turned into, or, you know, here's the piece that's turned into by this artist. Because again, I always want to shout out the artists. And like, each of these is a little bit different in terms of like how it uses that template of like, hey, here's, you know, all of them still have this big general reference thing because that's just useful of, here's the core, here's Astraea in a nutshell. Brief. This one was fun of just like, hey, what if Astraea, but Jenny from Bloody Roar. And here you can see like I can like the outfit and pose headers combined, and this is like, okay, so like when it comes to outfit, Jenny's official outfits are great, but also like finding official art is really, there's not a whole lot out there. It's unfortunate. I really want there to be like more readily available concept art from Bloody Roar as a series because it's real good. But it's like, hey, here's her outfit from Bloody Roar 2, Bloody Roar 3, here's Primal Fury. And like each of these outfits has their own strength and they're all really good. But the posing in Bloody Roar 2 and Bloody Roar 3 are much stronger, I think, than in Primal Fury. And then at that point, it's like, hey, let me break out the different things, and then pointing at more reference for Ginny in particular, because it's like, you know, if we're stealing her fit, then here's as much reference as I can provide. Astraea's Hot Girl Summer was just like, hey, basically this screenshot, I want to see this in an artist style. Here's like the full outfit reference with like a link to like the full breakout. I also list like my glam pieces that I'm using, and also any dyes, which you can then look up on like Garland DB or other such tools. And also it's like, hey, so the chakrams in Final Fantasy XIV, all like most of them are a lot. So what if instead we use Xena's chakrams? Because I'm sure like on some subconscious level, Astraea was influenced by Xena because Xena kicked ass back in the 90s. Here's this one never got sent to an artist. I think I had in mind Amma, who might be streaming right now, actually. Stream, are you dead? My Twitch app is telling me my stream is offline. Now it's not. Everything is fine? Everything's fine. Anyway, I was thinking about throwing this one to Amma, who also did the Bloody Roar piece, because basically I popped into their stream to like while they were doing sketch commissions, and Bloody Roar came up for some reason, and that sent my brain down the rabbit hole of what if Astraea just like Jenny. And we'll get to that commission. It's incredible. But then Alma, I think, also mentioned like wanting to focus on like try something that was like super perspective. And it's like, okay, well, I've got kind of an idea for that. Let me go try to write it up. But like by the time I finished writing up everything and gathering all my references, they were no longer taking commissions. So that's kind of what this one is just like, hey, here's a lot of this outfit, trying to do turnarounds of it. Like I have the turnaround reference screenshots and posts, but like ultimately the white background and the sleeves are kind of eating each other a bit. So it's like, hey, what if there's just more screenshots? All the, hey, what if draw your OC in this sorts of posts. A couple of the weird ones I have are like, I had, again, like these things were in draft jail forever because it was always like, this is just something I'm going to send to an artist, right? But then it's like when Cohost announced that they're closing, it's like, okay, I put a lot of work into a lot of these. Let me release this. And also like, I think really the biggest thing was just like, okay, so I want to get my template out there, and I want to have examples to show people, because again, if they can learn from my example and use any of this stuff that I have put together as like, oh, this is something like, this is, if it helps anybody go out and commission an artist for the first time, then I can die happy, basically. So like I have kind of two master posts here of like Astraea emote ideas, and then also commission ideas breakdown, which is just kind of a random name, but it was like self-identifying, and again, it was kind of meant to always be in draft mode. But again, it's like it's released in case it helps anybody actually get around to commissioning artists. Again, commissioning artists is the coolest thing. Please do it. So like, for the most part, I made this entire post to send to Inviso Guy. Yes, I grabbed their coffee link. So Viz did an incredible job on these two. I love these emotes so much. I do have them. I need to shuffle tiers around, because I think right now these are just like things that I can use and only I can use. And I think Calvi, who is about the only person that actually, subscribes to me, because Calvi is very nice. Thank you, Calvi. Like, I think they've mentioned that they want access to these, so I need to get around to like moving things into tier 1 or whatever. Anyway, those two emotes I got from Viz. Viz did an incredible job making these like really just fun emotes. And there's all these other like ideas. Basically, something that I do struggle with in commissioning artists is like sending out these, hey, I want artists to have fun is ultimately like the thing. So it's like I can kind of be a little wishy-washy when it comes to like, here's a specific thing I want versus like, please have a look through this list of ideas and choose what you would like. And I think in Viz's case, they did prefer having like the having like a specific direction to go over, like, hey, please choose what you would think would be fun. And ultimately, like a lot of these are just like, man, I'd love to get more of these emotes, but also just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. and I don't stream enough for any of this, so ultimately I've got these two. I love them very much. Viz did a real bang up job. It's so good. It's just so good. These shapes are just delightful. Anyway, that's kind of the whole commission idea thing off of this template and all of this stuff. I really love this piece. I'm a little concerned about showing it on Twitch, so that is unfortunate because it's easily become one of my favorites. It looks so good, but it is just like it skirts that line beautifully, perfectly between safe for work and not, to where it's like nothing is showing, but also I don't really want to, like, if I'm posting it in somebody's Discord, I'm not going to post it anywhere but like a not safe for work channel, if that makes sense. So it's like, I think technically it counts as safe for work, but also probably shouldn't have it open at work. I still have no idea what I'm doing in this little drive-by tour of everything. So another fun thing is just like the profile options, and like what you're able to show and like how much you can put over here is a surprising amount. You have a lot of control over this little space, and that's great. Also, hey, Caity. Caity did this avatar. Let's go grab. Where did I put that? 1 second, tracking down links. Like, the link I have here is for Twitter, and also Caity popped into Cohost to say hi once, and that's about it, which is unfortunate because Caity is a delight. Caity's art is so good, we'll get eventually down to a full piece by Caity that actually caused a significant clam shuffle for all of my healing classes. But also this little sketch for Astraea's avatar is just, it's so good. It's so good. Look at these lips. Like, let's just get real zoomed up in there if we can. Look at that. Like, these lips, those eyes, like, gosh dang. All right, I guess some like random stuff, maybe. Like, okay, I've talked about all of these sorts of things. So like each of these ended up under the glam reference tag, just so it would be like, here's all of these outfits under one thing. And again, like, there's like 30 of these and they were all drafts. So it was like letting things out of draft jail over some amount of time. And I was posting like, I think I went with 6 of these a day because I didn't want to take the entirety of September just in case like anything went wrong. So it's like, I've got 30 of these reference things of just, here's this outfit, here's how it looks, maybe here's a piece for the vibe, and here's the actual items and and dyes, and then there's the big old cheat. We've kind of talked about a bunch of the various commission ideas. I guess just go through posts? Sure. Again, this stream is for me. I am so proud of this edit. And also I feel like I'm going to hell for it. But this was always a great screenshot, and Eggbug's colors blend in pretty well. And yeah, I'm gonna be bummed about this space going away, because this is kind of the big one. I miss this the post editor. It was really good. I like being able to use HTML markup. Let's just hit this button. And well, hey, the markup cheat sheet. Just stuff is just nice. It's just nice. It's just so nice and simple. Here's like the super easy things that you can do, and you can get really nice formatting, and you can do some like real easy image stuff, and like putting images and links and all that. And it's just like, it made things so simple and easy to post. But then if you wanted to like get into the HTML weeds, you could, and you just had so much control over how a post looked. And that is kind of the main strength of everything. For me and my time in Cohost was just like, it was just so easy to make things and get them up and get them shareable. And like, that's why I spent so much time getting all of this art reference put up onto Cohost for Astraea, because it's just, it was so easy. And again, like, this is why Astraea has her own page here, because it was so easy to just go in and hit, hey, create a new page, and done. And there she is. She has her own space where I can put all of this stuff and everything. So yeah, I'm going to miss this place. Here's a bunch of links of where I'll be around. I actually don't know how to pronounce this artist's handle. I'm assuming it's supposed to just be Sweet Side. One second. I know they are kind of 50-50 on safe for work and not. This doesn't link to anything that's not safe for work, so, well, hey, I believe they do just go by Sweetie. Yeah. I love their art. Just like the entire time I have been on Cohost, and like at some point they liked one of the things I posted for Astraea. It was probably the Dan art, because Dan art did gangbusters over here. Like, people really surprised Dan art good. Dan, if you're watching, I'm sorry to attack you so personally by saying your art is great. But yeah, Dan's art was it got people's attention, and they stuck around to see what else Astraea was up to, basically. That sounds weird. Cohost is a place where like numbers don't matter. They exist, but they don't matter. But it was just like, it was nice that when I posted Astraea stuff, people enjoyed it. That's always like the thing. It's like, okay, as I am streaming, I do have like, despite disabling the viewer count in, the Twitch stream layout backspace, whatever, the dashboard, what I stream from, despite disabling viewer counts and that, the mobile version, you can't hide that viewer number. And I know it's just at 1, which is, I don't know, probably me, maybe Sari. Or if you're lurking, thanks. But ultimately, it's like, the numbers are there and they are just a nuisance and I hate them. But like, it's nice when you make things and people enjoy it. And like, that was always the vibe that I got in Cohost, was just like, I could put up these screenshots and whatnot and like get a few people that just like pop by and like it and just like, hooray, I'm not the only one enjoying Astraea being pretty. Or like, when I share art and try to throw people as hard as I can at the artists that drew it. Like, just, it was nice of just like, hey, look at this thing, and having some feedback of, hey, people looked at this thing. But not in like the numbers didn't matter. It was just like, I could put things here and I know people are enjoying it. And I kind of made the call really early on to not follow anybody as Astraea's account. Partially because it's like, when I go to the Cohost main, like, just cohost.org, when signed in, is like, here's your posts and everybody you're following. So it's like, I just kind of like seeing my posts. Howdy, Kurt. Welcome. We're mourning a dying website. And I'm just kind of rambling and going through things. If you have any questions about Cohost or stuff, feel free to shout them out. Otherwise, I will just continue rambling forever. But yeah, I did just kind of like going to Cohost and seeing, hey, here's Astraea and she's pretty. So it's like, I just kind of early on, it's like, okay, I'm not going to follow anybody, but like about every time, let me just double check that there's nothing not safe for work that's going to show up on this page. Okay. Every time I saw this icon in reactions, I would basically come over and check out Sweetie's art, because this is real good. It's real good. It's so cute. And as everything was closing here on Cohost, they've been doing a bunch of art raffles, and they did one of Astraea, and it is one of my favorite pieces. And again, it's like, I really love this piece. I wish I could show it. It does contain 18 plus content. It's not strictly not safe for work, but also it's not something that you would want to like leave up on a monitor at work. And I'm not entirely sure how Twitch safe it is. But it's so good. All right, we already talked about the commission idea template. Again, I pinned it up here because commissioning artists is cool. Do it if you can. I swear, it's a joy. The big master reference sheet we've talked about. Hey, look at the Dan art again. Also pinned, this was for the longest time, this was the only thing that I had penned. Basically, I only started penning other things when I started releasing stuff from draft jail, basically. So this has been pinned on Astraea's account basically since I got it back from Dan. And again, I love it. It's the best. It sets a really high gold standard. Just under the wire, I got this back from Flash Ballad. They are doing... that's their VGen. I'm going to link their Twitch, since we're on Twitch. Flash is... They've been working so hard on their new VTuber model. They've been a PNG tuber for a while. And their PNG tuber was really good and fun. But they've been working so incredibly hard on this VTuber model. They are debuting on October 18th. So consider giving them a follow and stopping by for their October 18th debut stream. They do surprise great art, and I got this lovely piece. Look, them thighs. We got this lovely piece back from them just in time to post it on Cohost. Also, my favorite thing about this one, if we zoom in on her eyes, this is a slightly lower quality version than what I have, but like her eyes having these heart-shaped reflections or light highlights. I love it. I love it so much. It's such a great detail. I know, like, when I was kind of like staring at this for kind of final go ahead, and again, this is a slightly lower quality version than what I have on hand for my personal files. This cell shaded effect, like, I kept having to double check that this is just like two tones and not like any gradients or anything between the two, because like zoomed out, those colors blend so well. So happy with it. Again, commissioning artists, it's the coolest thing. Please do it. Acorn. Well, hey, thank you for that subscription. Tier 1 for 6 months in advance. Goodness. Thank you very much. Oh, dang. This is such a weird stream. But it's mostly for me. Oh, yeah. I am currently not in a position to be commissioning people very much. Like, I had finally set myself like a proper art budget, and then things changed. So it's really, it sucks. It sucks wanting to commission artists and then just not being able to. So Mentor Roulette Bingo. Hey, you know what? We're going to grab another random link. I think they're actually streaming right now. Oh, I forget if they go by another name. Let's throw their link. So, hey, Momo Rars. I think they're streaming right now. I think they're doing the new Zelda. At some point, fell into their stream. I think it was part of a raid. And they were doing Mentor Roulettes, and to make it more fun, they were doing Mentor Roulette Bingo, where they just kind of wrote a bunch of goals up real quick on a bingo board. And it's like, okay, well, what if we take just like the whole list of dungeons and trials and everything, along with some of these fun ideas, and turn that into a JSON sort of thing that you can feed into one of the bingo board providers. Specifically the one that I know of, which is Bingo Sync, which is what people use for like bingo races. And this was also a post that was in draft jail for a long time, because it's just like a, hey, here's just a thing. I don't know if anybody's actually interested in it, but hey, it exists. I haven't updated it to include anything from Dawntrail yet. And I need to unlock Mentor Roulette again. So yeah, this is just kind of hanging around. We have my commission ideas brain dump. I didn't really talk about this one. I talked about the emotes one. I didn't talk about this one yet. So this was largely just getting stuff out of my head originally, and then it was also like doing cleanup pass on it and whatnot. And the core idea of this is just like, what if I get the ideas out of my head so that I can maybe turn them into proper commission ideas and reference, so that when I go to talk to an artist, I can do more than just say, please draw she, I am love her. And then orders of ideas doesn't really matter. There's a couple things I have that are more reference ready. So we've got that Oktoberfest glam, and then just like the draw your OC in this one. So again, there's that. And then draw your OC in this. There's this neat flowery lingerie that I would still really love to get a piece of Astraea in this at some point. But I imagine that's going to be a more costly piece. There's that one sexy black dress that was going around and is still going around. I don't have proper reference of it. I only have like a tweet of a cosplayer in it, a cosplayer who is cosplaying as Karlach from Baldur's Gate 3 in the sexy black dress. Which unfortunately that's a tweet, and unfortunately the Costco Final Fantasy 14 crop top is also a tweet. This link should work. This shirt is so phenomenal, and I have referred to Astraea as a hot dog and soda $1.50 combo already. And then there's the Eggbug booty shorts, which I did get. So that piece that I keep dancing around and wanting to show, but not actually showing. This one over here. That is Astraea in... Where did it go? Did I... Bum-bum. That piece that I keep not showing is Astraea in Eggbug booty shorts, and only big Eggbug booty shorts. Again, Eggbug. Aside from that, we just have the pile of ideas, various tall girl memes, because Astraea is like 6'7", so she tall. Right, this... I know Dan has made reference, a couple of people have made reference to this image when Astraea is standing next to their character. This one I think is just like linking to some Twitter stuff that is unfortunately Twitter. It's Twitter. At some point, this would be another one of those really large pieces. Getting an Astraea version of this poster in all sorts of various outfits. I have some ideas about which outfits go to which, basically outfit mapping for this sort of piece. But I need to put like full thought into it, and I'd also need to like find the right artist and have... I imagine that's going to be a very expensive piece when I eventually do it. Caity would be a great artist for this, I think, actually. But again, too rich for my blood currently. there's just Passage of Arms. It looks cool. One of these days, probably need to get an Astraea piece with it. Some random ideas. This is like, hey, what if Astraea's doing her makeup with a spooky succubus in the mirror or something? Just down for full paladin gear, no overcoat, no armored stuff. That is that was the core idea behind this piece from Flash. So I do kind of have that, but also like, could have more. Just having drinks, sitting around in the quicksand, hanging out with Mamodi, telling her stories that may or may not be spicy. At some point in some stream, somebody mentioned like the just outfit concept of open business jacket and bra combo is one of the peak peak outfit designs. It's just like, you know what, you're right. And then there's also just like, hey, draw your OC in this outfits. Which there are a ton of out there. Unfortunately, so many of them are on Twitter, and I'm not on Twitter, and I don't see those anymore. So like, I have very few resources on those. We have my link to the emotes page, which is basically, hey, Viz, please draw any of these things. There's completed art that I have tagged specifically as Astraea. We'll look at that soonish. I point towards my commission template. I partially put this here for finding it easily, and I partially put it here as like a, hey artist, if you're looking at this and I haven't given you a proper reference, then I owe it to you. Oh yeah, there was somebody doing those tactic style OCs. I wish I remembered who that artist was. I think I was one of those, like, I saw on Twitter late in my Twitter days, and I really wanted to commission them, but like, I think their commissions were like the DM me on Twitter. And it's like, I tried to DM an artist on Twitter once, and Twitter said, hey, I think you're a bot now. I wonder if it's the same artist. I will probably like take this link that you were grabbing and throw it into my super secret personal only Discord. Oh no, a Twitter link. Boo. Picking Twitter. All right, let's see if this even works, or if they're going to be like, oh, you need to sign in. Oh, that's very good. They also have a Tumblr. Heck, never update. Okay, so brief side tangent here. Brazilians getting kicked off Twitter because Twitter won't, follow the local laws or whatever, has been an excellent boon to Blue Sky, because now all of a sudden there's so many artists over there, and a lot more artists seem to keep showing up because they realize, oh hey, this place isn't nearly as horrible vibes and soul crushing as Twitter, but the numbers are still low. Like, people don't get like the same number of reactions and comments and whatnot, I think, on Blue Sky, which, again, I don't know, Cohost has helped to cure me of like the idea that numbers matter at all. But also, I'm not an artist on the internet trying to make money doing art things. Anyway, dear artist, please go to Blue Sky so I can look at your stuff. I am going to steal this link, however. And we're just going to throw that over into channel where I throw, hey, here's a cool artist. Like, I really want people to just get away from Twitter. It's just bad. Like, I know I was seeing artists who just, like, while I was still on Twitter, I was seeing artists complain about how they get so many fewer, you know, commission requests and everything. It's just like, is it probably, like, is it because Twitter is blocking DMs? And, like, if somebody messages you and they haven't really done a lot of DMs, I guess, or I don't know, maybe they've just never DM'd you in the first place, then Twitter is then going to declare them a bot? Probably. Like, I spent, you know, I am super shy, and reaching out to artists is like super scary for me still, even for the ones that is like I'm, you know, comfortable around or like have been hanging around in their streams a lot or whatnot, and they already like know my name, so I'm not like entirely out of the blue. Ooh, not Twitter link. Excellent, excellent. Hell yeah. We love a good card. Oh, that's a good image. They're on coffee. They have a cons link. Excellent. But yeah, it's like I spent a day at least writing a message to inquire about commissions from an artist who still hasn't moved off to anything else as far as I'm aware, which sucks because it's like I really enjoyed their art. It was like this great, I want to say shoujo style. It was so cute. It was such cute art, and Astraea would have looked great. But unfortunately, I tried to DM them on Twitter, and Twitter claimed I was a bot. And yeah, I don't know if my posts were even seen after that point. Anyway, so this is a commission idea that is out for commission, and it's going to be real good. But basically, it's this image on the right here of how to talk to short people, probably with this outfit because I think it matches the same vibe. Maybe make the heels as high as these just for fun because Astraea would. I'm looking forward to when that one comes back eventually. I have told the artist to take as much time as they want / need. So please, artist, if you happen to see this, continue taking as much time as you want or need. I am in no rush, but I am excited. All right. So that's the commission ideas brain dump, blah, blah, blah. So at this point, we're kind of getting into everything that got released from draft jail. Kind of like not all at once, but like I was making quite a number of posts per day to make sure everything got out, and I didn't want to like run up against deadlines or anything. So like we have, hey, it's this commission that we just talked about. Here's this other commission that is, this is the reference that I gave to Flash for this piece. With my brief sketch, here's like the links to the full reference turnarounds of each of these. And then also just like, here's what I'm thinking about, like specifically Astraea dressed down. She has her gold dress on still, lose the coat, lose the armor, which kind of puts her down towards her Reaper vibes a bit more. Desperately want to click on this because I love that piece so much. I have almost asked if any other mod in Dan's Discord wants to make determinations on whether or not this would be fine to post in Dan's Discord, but it's like one of those, I love it, but also it's, I think, just enough spice to not want to post in any channel that's not marked explicitly not safe for work. We've already talked about the emote ideas, and then we're going to be scrolling through a ton of these, of the outfit turnarounds with glam pieces noted. Sage, I don't enjoy playing Sage, but there's a story with Sage glams. We'll get to in a second. We have, so basically I was doing like 6 outfit posts and then also like releasing one of my commission ideas for several days in a row to like get everything out of draft jail once we found out that Cohost was going to be shutting down. I need to add to this list of FF14 mod, Final Fantasy 14 mods that I hope exist someday. Eggbug booty shorts would be fun. Eggbug as a scholar or summoner pet would be fun. Eggbug stickers in Wondrous Tales would be fun. Is Eggbug. Somebody has modded in Eggbug as a minion. Let's actually see if I can drag that out real quick. Eggbug in Final Fantasy 14 using a model somebody made. Let's not scroll too far down on this screen because God knows what other mods there are for Final Fantasy 14. But hey, Eggbug is just a little guy, just a delight. I forget what I had been thinking of just like other mods that you could put Eggbug in as, but there were a couple of thoughts and I have lost them since. Hey, it's that commission idea again. Do all sorts of glams. So this was my astrologian glam for a long time. It was basically just like what I was using for leveling. And I'm still pretty happy with how this glam turned out, but it was mostly simple. It was like, it was this robe, basic boots. The skirt is just kind of a thing that was around. And then like, I think the bunny chief, loops. And then Sage happened and all my healers needed new glams because reasons. And I had made this for Sage, and then it was just like, oh no, this glam is too good. This can't go on Sage. I don't like playing Sage. So Astrologian ended up getting this outfit, and it's real good. I'm still happy with it. I also use this. There was fantastic. I know, Kurt, we were discussing glam stuff with people yesterday. Hey, it's the Ellison footwear. It's just like, it's so simple. It's a mild heel. It's just black, so it fits in with so many pieces. It's such a great glam piece. Their leggings also are really good. They're also like, they're black thigh-high leggings. I don't think I'm using the leggings in any glams, but essentially, like, they're black leather leggings that are thigh highs with an interesting pattern at the top. We've got Gunbreaker reference. I still love this screenshot so much. I like Astraea as kind of street punk flavor, I guess. Also, like, I think I switched to using this. I think I have a post about like why I switched to using this somewhere in Cohost, and we'll get to it eventually, but like, I'm pretty sure the short version is like, I was doing all my Manderville relics and determined I didn't like how Gunbreaker was turning out. So I went out to PvP and grabbed the Spike Club, and it's just stuck. It's just fun. I'm still like, this was a leveling glam that I set up for Ninja, but it just works really well. Like, I'm just really happy with this glam overall. Just like, it's really simple. It's not very, like, it's very unassuming. It seems like it would still be like combat viable and offer like fast movement and all of that stuff. You get a little bit of cleavage, which is great. And like, it's in the style of Ul'dah, which is where Astraea calls home. And like, it just has this really unassuming feel that I think works great for Ninja, because it's like, okay, she's just out and about, but at any point in time, just like suddenly pulls out knives and is deadly force. And it's just like, it's stuck, and I'm still super happy with that one. I don't really want to change my Ninja stuff at all. I have a post that has a better screenshot for Machinist, but I'm so happy with this glam. Just like the perfect amount of exposed thigh while also still being like, this is something that could work as like workshop wear, but still looks great. My Dragoon glam is built around this weapon. The boots have changed out from this screenshot. These, I think, are the updated boots. And then the skirt, I need to get a new screenshot, since I've updated that. Again, had to sacrifice exposed thigh for a skirt that flows in the outfit better. But it just looks so much better with that. I think it's the raptor skin skirt. So this is the commission reference I gave for a piece we'll get to soon. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that link now, because I think we'll get to it pretty soon. This is easily one of my best glams. Just, I've gotten so many comments from random people about how much they like this glam. It's one that, like, as soon as I set it up, Dark Knight was done. Like, I've occasionally thought about swapping out the weapon, but like, I don't know, this jagged thing of a blade is it's just really good overall, honestly. And it's like, I went with the not glowing version because I think the glowing version just is a little bit too much. And like a lot of Dark Knight weapons, they're just like too thick of a blade. Like, not whatever, like, you have the length of the blade, the width of the blade, and then there's the depth of the blade, which is like really hard to point out on a 2D space. But like, the depth of Dark Knight blades are just often so thick they look like Nerf weapons. So I just really like having that jagged ice blade. It's so good. I don't know why Red Mage is kind of edgy. Like, I think my thought process was just like, from the like diving into melee just brought back memories, like one of those visceral memory activated moments of doing that sort of attack in like Devil May Cry. And that was kind of the whole thing for Red Mage, was just like, okay, so Red Mage is now Devil May Cry edgy glam for whatever reason. And overall, it's like, I'm happy with how this glam looks. Like, it works. It gives a nice flavor. It has like that nice void scent flavor, which is great for, Astraea being half succubus. This was my Black Mage glam for a long time. Started using it in Stormblood primarily. And I think it's still a really solid glam, even if it is technically kind of basic. Like, there's this top, which I think I got out of Palace of the Dead. The skirt, I think, is the skirt that you get from, what is it called? The novice training stuff. And then like the boots, I think, are also like that novice training boot. Which those are honestly great glam pieces. They fill in so well for leveling gear. Eventually this got switched out to this version of Black Mage, which you can kind of see some similarities here with my Astrologian glam, where I'm using the same leggings and the Elysian boots still. This top, which I love the look of this. Turns out, actually, though, that it is mostly Sadhu's outfit as well. And I love Sadhu, but didn't really mean to steal her outfit, so it's like Black Mage is kind of on a I should probably switch this out at some point. I didn't mean to dress the same as Sadhu entirely, but also Sadhu looks great and Astraea looks great, so Reaper is kind of a stone cold classic. I love this portrait so much. I am so pleased with how this came out. I have been thinking about changing this glam for a while. I love the Scholar glam. Like, this one came about from, like, essentially I got the Scholar artifact gear. It's like, oh, it's got these like nice wool socks and the skirt, and it's just like, oh, I really like how that works. And what do I have that works with it? I found this top, and it's like, it started making me think of The Craft, that movie about witches, and just like went for kind of that vibe with it. And I still like it, but also like there is something about the height of Elysian torsos that makes certain tops look, basically the height of the torso makes or breaks certain pieces, and this one I think is like right on the edge of going either way. It's like, it looks good, but also it might just be like Astraea is just a little too tall in the torso for it, but also it still looks good. So it's like, I'm always kind of torn on this one of like, I do enjoy this one for what it is, but also sometimes I want to change it. There is another aspect with skirts in particular, and that is like the underwear problem, and like that can make or break certain skirts, especially depending on the class, because like I know Dragoon in particular, they have a really wide stance, so like everything's getting shown if you're wearing a short skirt as a Dragoon, and like sometimes it's something like, you know, this that works with like a wide stance, and it's like it doesn't feel silly, and some of them have just like this really notable, like, I'm trying to find the like delicate way to phrase, like, here's just like plain white panties, and like just having them be plain white panties makes it more vulgar to me, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, you know, I see this, and Astraea's got her hams out. She's showing off a lot of skin around that area, and like I don't blink an eye, but like this skirt and certain mounts and whatnot, where it's just like I don't know, it feels like voyeuristic, I guess, is really like the thing that I'm coming down to. It's just like, it feels like this weird voyeuristic kink sort of thing. And it's just like, I'm just really not into it, and I find it off-putting. So like that's always kind of the struggle with skirts. And I know this is one of those skirts that has that problem, which is part of why I consider switching this up. Again, we're back to like interspersing outfits with commission ideas, getting this piece back from Amma. We'll copy links when I get there, I guess. But hey, Astraea dressed like this. Oh boy, it's real good. Hey, it's Cozy Winter Astraea. Summer fun paladin Astraea. There's a good screenshot of this somewhere in there. October fun time with Spooky Bat and sweet boo windows. Exposed tum, all the good things. I've been using this glam for like the better part of a year. It's just real good. It's just real quality. I love these boots. Like I was going to zoom in on this side in particular because like these heels, those spike heels, I love it so much. It's real good. Is like they feel like proper armor, but they still have, sexy heel. It's great. This top is really quite gorgeous, and it works with various things. The classic. God, this coat. This is one of those coats, like, again, like the height of the torso thing for Ellison. This coat looks so good on Astraea. And also, like, that cinching around the waist and, like, it's like equal parts unassuming, functional, and also, like, dim hips, goddamn. It's such a good coat, and again, it's like this is part of. I was mentioning yesterday. It's like I'm pretty much done with all of like the flame specific Grand Company achievements, and technically I should switch to a different Grand Company, but then I couldn't wear this coat. I would have to switch back in order to wear this coat, yeah, I keep thinking about that. This was when the news broke, coinciding with the Rising event. So, hey, Cohost is going away, and that's unfortunate. Let's see, we've got some specific Dawn Trail spoiler stuff. So we will skip those. Hey, it's Zambi candy time. Zambi has such gorgeous colors. Like, I do enjoy it very much. That's the right link. But yeah, this one is just... It is fun for several reasons. These colors, I love these sparkles. This glow around the eyes. Going to zoom in real good and hard there. This glow around the eyes is so good. Just like how her lips look. Love it. Love it so much. Also, thighs. The artists have tended to go pretty thick on the thighs, and I'm fine with it. I think that's been the general consensus. Is just like, oh yeah, the thighs are thick, but that's fine. I know Zambi did specifically mention it's just like I like in sketches going back and forth. They did specifically ask about the thighs, and it's like, I am happy where they are, but if you want to go more, go crazy. Because I know I had seen at some point they had done a post somewhere just like They love drawing thick. So it's just like, please have fun. That again, it's like whenever I commission artists, it's like the thing I want most aside, it's like I want to see great art, but also I just want them to have fun doing it. So these thighs, this specific amount of thickness, that's all zombie, and great, good job. No complaints. Also, that's some good tum. Here we go. Let's copy that link. I know they were doing some art earlier today. Their streams are a fun time. Like they're very chill, very relaxed, and they do really solid, great art. This is a very large image, so it might take a moment. Yeah, that's how large this image is. But also, like, goodness, this expression, like this little highlight, like the eyes, the eyeliner, the lips, the shine, the like almost illumination of her eyes in shadow. This, like the highlighting on her horns, highlighting on her hair. Like, good lord. Amma did such an incredible job with this piece. Okay. This does have a Dawntrail like area in the background, but like I don't think it's going to be any sort of actually spoiler on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and click it while you're here, Kurt. But it's just like, here's my Viper Glam. Which this has become, I think, my favorite new glam. I have switched out the swords since this screenshot, but like, I don't know. I just love the way Astraea gets stanced up. Like, there's such a like great level of skin showing that is like both believable as combat equipment of like issuing armor for like those fast movements and all that stuff, but like her legs are still like well protected by like this kind of padded layered leather good boots for trudging around in various environments and whatnot, and then just like exposed skin because it's hot out, I guess. It was summer, it was our summer vacation, so it was like, okay, show some skin. This I think this is another one of those, like, there's just some like area in the background, there's nothing in particular, so it should be good. We'll skip past like all of the thoughts that I had for Dawntrail because like that's all below the fold anyway. The short version though is like, hey, I had a good time and Astraea still looks really pretty. Just, she's pretty. And also, yes, her hair isn't borked. We talked about that yesterday. And then I have a lot of thoughts on Dawntrail. And I wrote them basically during the credits. and tried to be as vague as possible. But like ultimately, it's I had fun, and I hope you do too. And it's like I went in with the expectation of just like, this is summer vacation mod, or this is the summer vacation stuff. Let's go. Hey, here's the tucking in Astraea for the night sort of post. Well, we had the long maintenance. We're Dawn Trail. The Sigoli Desert is such a great place for random screenshots. Like there, you get such strong lighting, and like the sky is just wide open. It's a really great place for grabbing. I love doing T-posing down there. Another Sigoli Desert. I had finally gotten my finally done my time in Bosja enough to get this dang mount. Yeah, I'd gotten 5 copies of one of the 2 notes that could drop from the fight that I had to keep doing that was part of Dal, and just like, oh man. It took a long time, but it's just like, I made this glam, and it's just like, oh man, that mount would look really good with it. And it does. But also, man, I'm not in a rush to get back to Bosja. What did I check into here? Okay, yeah, just some thoughts about relic weapons, because I do need to go back and do stuff. This is one of my favorite screenshots, I think. Like, I have really mixed feelings about the like alignment of, you know, like the lines are kind of matching up here. So I have like really mixed feelings about that composition wise, but also I kind of love it because it's like Astraea's stance matching that of a behemoth. Just, I love that conceptually. Like just having the paladin stance like kind of match up with how a behemoth is stanced just feels super cool and super powerful. And this is a timeout on floor 180, and I just happened to be like in this exact spot to grab this really, really good screenshot. And it just, I'm very glad that I was standing in that position, looking in this specific way, and was able to get this, because this screenshot is so good. And also Astraea looked great, and hooray, exposed thigh. God, I was so nervous going into that fight, but also just like the floors leading up to it just were unkind, and I did not have the time to get through that fight. I love taking screenshots every time I get this deep in a Palace of the Dead, because this background is so cool. I did enjoy doing perspective as fuck, and also hooray for those spike heels. The obligatory, here's this glam on Astraea. I am so mad about this top. And it's all about boobs. It's like, this top on Astraea just completely compresses everything she's got going on. And it's so frustrating, because it's like, on Clive, he's got so much man booba, and it's all on display. And I was so excited for this top on Astraea, because it's like, yes, let's get this nice top that'll have, like, the cleavage is so good on Clive, it'll be great on Astraea. And then put it on, it's just like, what the hell, man? Oh, hey, look, it's everything I just said. It's like, it has the perfect boob window, but then just minimizes. Got another piece from the Clive and Tifa with Jill and Cloud starring. You have my attention. This is a great sketch, also by Zambi Candy. Oh, staring. Again, hips, thighs. Love it. This was basically just handing reference to Zambi Candy and getting the sketch back. And she looks great. And what else is there to say? This was a repost because Zambi Candy had open commissions at the time. I think we'll run into, hey, Dan had open commissions at the time. So here's the Dan pieces that we have. Man, Dan's such a good artist. I had this screenshot sitting around and I put it in my Reaper reference sheet, but I never like posted it itself. So it was just like, oh hey, I have this hanging around and I love this screenshot because like Astraea looming, staring straight into your soul, and like just the way the light comes in. I love this mixture of like the golds and the sharp blacks, and then just the wings. And it must be said, the hips and like these lines and like good lord, such a good shot. Hey, Inviso Guy did this. I think I already linked some Viz stuff, but we'll grab another Viz. There we go. This one links to his card. Their card? Their card. All right, let's see this again with the Twitter links. Ew. Just doing a little workaround on the Twitter thing. Ah, yes, man and woman of culture, indeed. That's very good. Yeah, Viz, these colors are so fun. Those shapes are just so fun. This is just like such a good emote. Again, I need to move things around so it's actually available for people, because it's like I do have it on Twitch, but I think I have it as like a tier 3 or something. Which is like for me to use, but like I think Calvi has requested having it. So hey, here's that sketch from Zambi again. Had like hips. Also, okay, so we're going to zoom in for a moment here. This little squishabooba, love it, adore it. It's so good. In-game sliders be damned. Let Astraea be thick. Again, Dan with this just Dan. So like, do I still have? No, it's something that I didn't release from Draft Jail, was the reference I gave to Dan for this, because it's like, I think the thing is, I think that post is titled reference stuff explicitly for Dan. So yeah, I might need to go dig around and see if there's anything I want to scrap out of that draft. But basically, there's another artist that hasn't moved off of Twitter, as far as I know. I forgot their name. That sucks. All right, one second. Let me poke around on the back end here. Here we go. Okichi? Okichi? Shout out this artist in a second. Like, this is one of the things that I was giving to Dan, of just like, hey, top probably like this, There you go. Pocket G. I hate linking to her, but yeah, there we go. I love their art. I need to see if they've gotten off of Twitter, and see if I can follow them elsewhere, because their art's very good. And surprise, this character's a succubus. So I think I might have a type. God, the abs, just the musculature, like hot damn. Dan does such good work. Ooh, Linktree, excellent. And I am just going to steal that for my personal records. Print shop, Twitter. Man. Alright, well, they're on Webtoons, and I'm not on Insta. Well, technically, there's a Bryson Robot Instagram account that exists. I don't use it at all. And I just don't like Instagram. It's just such a, I don't know. It's one of those websites that's like I end up at every once in a while. It's just like, this is just a bad experience. I'm leaving. God damn, Dan. Okay, so we had a little bit here about, hey, Discord was changing things so that you no longer have those nice clean links, and you start getting those like super gross looking Discord links, and also they have time limit and whatnot, so it's like you can't hot link to Discord, which I had been doing here. This is just the new relic, which you've already seen some of these screenshots. Oh right, that's what happened. I had gotten this top somewhat recently, and then I got to the final stage of this weapon, and it's like, this doesn't work with any glam whatsoever. Let me try to make glam that works with this, and focusing on this top in particular. And overall, I am very happy with this glam. It is now kept around for Bozja specifically. So at some point, I will go back to Bozja just because I want to play in this glam. There's the time that I got all of my cards and got my mount. Hooray for my jam on toast. And this is one of those mounts that got really, it's treated so well by the new mount mechanic junk, like the little like the like angling into turns, that hits so hard for this mount. Like it really makes me more happy to have this mount. Happy New Year, new moo. How far into story are you again, Kurt? This is one of my best screenshots, I must say. 6.1, but it's fine. I love this. Like, this was my screenshot for this glam, and this is one of my best screenshots, just flat out. This was your character here. I've only heard Dan say this artist's name as Sane, and I don't know. I've never heard that artist say it, or like any of their like inner circle of friends say their name. So I'm going to go with how Dan says it, of Sane. I like, my brain read it as Sane. I'm going to go with Sane. I love their style. Like their style is just like so like that. It's such a great mixture of like cute and sexy. And like as this chibi model, like I love the eyes in this so much. So like basically, this was just a your character here made fun time. Hooray for thickness and booba. This was a piece that made me think like, oh, okay, so this is what happens when Astraea's got too much booba, I guess, for on model. It still looks good and it's close enough to smudge it. It's so good. It's just so good. I love. So this expression, I love it because it's like from far away, from zoomed out. It's like it just kind of looks come hither-ish. Like it's just like, here's cute girl. But then it's like when you zoom in, I don't know what it is about zooming in and like getting the finer details of like these inner lines and like getting this thin shape of the eye and whatnot. But it kind of takes on a bit more of just like a menace to it. I really love that about this piece. Like, just this expression is so solid. And just like, I love that effect of just like zooming in, and it's just like, why does zooming in make it more menacing? And I still don't understand how that magic trick works, but it's so good. And this is one of those pieces that also makes me sad that I can never, like, the maid outfit on Astraea just never seems to work right. And I think it is like the height of torso problem, because like you can see here, just like, you know, this kind of, I don't know if that's a bodice belt central tie thing, but like essentially the skirt starts way up here in this piece. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like just how much space would actually happen on Astraea in game. It just like, I want the skirt to be higher or something to I don't know. I think it is that height of torso is the problem with the maid outfit in game. I can't link them yet. I did not. Good. This is our card. I know they stream on Twitch. Dan's rated them at least once. Their art's very good. It's just like, it has such that great blend of like fun and cute and sexy that is just like, it's so good. It's just a delight to look at. I really want to catch more of their streams, frankly, and I just never do. Hey, I made this. this FF6 style character sprite for Astraea. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I still want to go back and check the colors to make sure they're like Super Nintendo accurate. And if like, I have primarily concerned about like these purples and the reddish here. I think the rest I actually pulled from other character sprites. So I think it's just like those that I need to double check, but I am like within the I am within like the color count for a sprite for Super Nintendo and all that. And some part of me would love to hack Astraea into FF6 and have that as a ROM hack sitting around just for me. As much as I love Celeste, having Astraea in there instead sure would be a fun time. Another Viz piece. This one got kind of chewed up because of scaling. So the other piece that I got back from Viz, I think, is a 500 by 500. This is a little smaller, so like here it's getting crunched up. But it's so good. It's just so flavorful, and just, again, like the shapes are so fun, and it has this like delightful menace about it. Art good. Artist good. We have our October Paladin. Ray for cleavage. These fun claws. And Spoopy Bat. Also, this is like a really early sword. I think it's like a level 7 or 10 sword. Um, but it's beautiful. I love the look. It's the Carnage sword. And it's just like it's got this just like deep purple blade. It's just a really nice early glam piece. It was like when I was putting things together for Halloween, it's like, okay, what was that one sword from way early on? And I had to like go track down where to buy it in Old and just like go through like all the early listings. Like, is this it? No, it's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. Aha, here we go. Discord was changing things. And I was bummed about it because I was using that all over around here to get around some upload limits. There's the time that it's like, hey, didn't like the Manderville weapon, so we'll reject Gunblade and go with Gun Club instead. And then we have Caity, who did this great piece, and I think I already linked Caity, but let's go grab that link again, because this other link is better. It doesn't just point to Twitter, it points to their entire card. So all the links for Caity. I love this piece so much. It's also huge. I don't know if you can read the address bar, but note that this says small at the top. This is still shrunk down from the original size. Oh god, like look at this color blend for the hair and the eyes, and like I love how she's given these like the kind of snake sort of eyes to Astraea here. Her lips are good god gorgeous. There's cleavage. We have like essentially this was one. It was like I handed the general reference sheet over to Caity and said, hey, are there any outfits that you want to draw in particular? And then also like Caity was very kind and helped me through like the specific commissioning process for her, because it was like really loose and just like she was doing either like a finish, like a more finished piece, or like this like sketch collection, I think is sketch page colored. And so it's like, hey, I'm torn on requesting these sorts of things. What do you think? She advised me towards the sketch page, and I'm so glad she did, because all the Astraeas, and they're all super good. I love like her coloring on the hair is just so gorgeous. Like good gravy. And all the lips are so good. You just scroll down onto Booba apparently. I know Caity chose this because she specifically wanted to do the fishnets. Again, with very nice amount of thigh. I also love like this kind of cell shaded flat colored bit down here. You could see this top that I also threw towards Caity. This piece, so this is let's go to short list just so I can get around faster. This piece from Dan, one of the things that I was pointing to was this part of this image from Caity. It's like, hey, I love this so much, I would like to see it again. And Dan was doing commissions at the time, so it's like, hey Dan, here's this thing, I like this outfit that Caity was doing. Can you here is Astraea, please draw her. And that's why we have like the weird we have Moogles at home plush. The little lion is like based off of the lion mount from doing enough duties as a paladin. And then again with the top being based off of that Pokichi piece. And then there's this, which was my Sage glam at the time. And then Caity drew this and was like, this is too good of a glam to waste on Sage. So then I had to shuffle around all of my healer glams. And it's like, okay, well, White Mage, I've enjoyed their leveling stuff, but I want to change it. So White Mage stole this. And then I had to make a new glam for Sage. And I liked it too much. So then Astrologian took that one. And then I made another glam for Sage that I'm still really happy with, but I haven't quite stolen it from Sage yet, and partially because I just don't think it would fit the vibe for what I want from Scholar, so it can stay on Sage. Excuse me. There's this little onion thing. Caity had sent back a sketch that was just like, hey, holding something maybe, and it's like, well, how about an onion, because that's how I used to make money on the market boards, was the Thavnarian onions for chocobos. And then the onion market got destroyed because people are silly. Caity's so good. Hot dang. Got my Summoner glam that I eventually set up. Summoner was just like, for a long time, didn't have its own glam. And I think I had made my Oops All Sadu glam for Summoner first. And then it was just like, nah, this doesn't quite fit the vibe that I'm looking for, but it would work for Black Mage. But that left Summoner without a glam, so it's like, okay, let me sit down and think through things. And I think I was poking around PvP gear items. And then there's a Sage glam. This is stuck on Sage. I'm so happy with this screenshot. Like, I love this. The smirk. The smirk on Astraea is very good. The, hey, I made this for Sage, but actually I like it too much, so it's going on to Astrologian. Because Caity made art too good, and I had to switch these glams around. This is another one of those, like, really good places. God, this is such a good screenshot. The sparkles are actually from, like, the Sage LB3. So this is a weird one, because this was when I was experimenting with this as a Sage glam, and before I had entirely decided I like this too much. So it was like, I went in here to get, like, some vibe screenshots as a Sage. And used like the Sage LB3, which has like these lingering sparkles right at the end, which here aligned perfectly with the with like the sun outside the window sort of thing. God, I love this screenshot. But it is also like one of those things that I couldn't actually get as an Astrologian because, you know, that's the Sage LB3 sparkle. Here we go. This is one of those glams that I'm super happy with. It just has such a good vibe. These tops do look really good on Astraea. The Shishui Joy whatevers. They can be tricky to work with just because it's like they have these sleeves, they have like little bits. There's just like trying to match them right is kind of a time. Summer from last year. As you can see, I was working on my Manderville relic. And then we got this screenshot, this is definitely like my dancer vibe screenshot. I am so pleased. We've got Happy Astraea. We've got like the sun coming up over the like in action dancing, her very long torso again, which is like that's always a thing with like this specific combo, where it's like her torso is just long enough to make me wonder if I like this or not, but also this is the old dancing girl outfit, and I just dig it. Hey, Caity was on Cohost briefly. Basically, Caity got let in, posted a thing, and that's about it. Hey, look, it's Dan again. This is... I've been using this, I do believe, as the Discord, what is the Fugi Tech? That thing. Been using that as that for the extreme events. Man, Dan art good. That time I finally sat down and made a portrait for every job. Let's actually go through these a little bit. So Paladin was like the first one I made. And it's like I had a vibe I was trying for, and I'm not sure how well that came across. And this is the one that I consider changing most often. Scholar, I kind of love like the goofy, bright colors, rainbows, and just like this general look of it. I've already mentioned that I adore my Reaper portrait. This is just like the spooky lighting, the moon, silver, all of that. Astraea leaning forward, looking down with like the kind of horror vibes lighting. This arm like coming down to her knee and blocking exactly what's going on in this general area. Just goodness. We've got Oops All Sadu, which I'm kind of happy with this one just being like casting big spell. But I don't know, I feel like this one's on the chopping block at some point to get reworked. Red Mage just being weird. I'm quite happy with just like looking through this little burnt or ripped tear in the collar. Gunbreaker's really strong. This is just a good look. Like this kind of contemplative whatnots. It still works fine with the gun club. Ninja, I do like this red vibe going on. Happy with Machinist being cute. Dragoon having this like looking out of the corner of the eye, showing off the relic, focused on more of the bodice and armor and everything. Dark just being I don't know what the word is. What's the word? Anyway, I like this one. I like this style. It's still the same for Astrologian, but it has changed with the outfit. This is my old White Mage glam. I'm happy with the vibe that this has, and it still works with the new outfit. Dancer, love the colors, love having like active dancing. Summoner has swapped out the outfit and also which relic I'm using, but they still work in this kind of magical space. Bard as just a shush is a nice vibe. I like this blue mage glam as kind of like this I think works as like this is a trading card that is sold at the sold by the Blue Mages Guild, or you know, those folks. This is that glam that got stolen from Sage. This is still like I actually use this in my White Mage reference stuff of just like, hey, look, here's Astraea in that stuff. Still works with the new glam. Monk, pretty simple, but it's like fists up, happy Astraea. Warrior focusing on big X, which is always a good time. So much of my samurai glam is built around this whole lightning sword, and like there's a whole story behind the sword. So yeah, it all ultimately works out. One of those posts of just like, hey, it's holidays, let's grab a screenshot. I do love the snowmen around Ul'dah. Like there's always these tiny little stories that are going on with the snowmen. It's great. When I had first made that Dragoon glam, what with the spear that it's focused on, aiming for, like, I got the spear and I wanted to aim for like some sort of magical girl outfit, but I could never get something to work. But then like ultimately landed on this this general glam. Like some of these pieces have swapped out since, specifically the skirt and the boots are a little bit different, but still like the same vibe. And like I feel like I ultimately kind of hit the mark on almost a revolutionary girl Utena vibe for Magical Girl, which still like it hits the bill. So I'm happy with it. Hey, it's Halloween. Here's a fun screenshot of Astraea looking great next to the pumpkin, the great cord. And we had early on in Cohost, I was making these reference sheets and actually posting them instead of just sitting on them and keeping them in draft jail forever. And there's when I finally made this portrait that I just love. 2 years ago, goodness. That time that Playframe was running the things and Astraea was there as Reaper and got to be in the background. Was this when I made that glam? No, I definitely made that glam beforehand. But like, this might have been when I got the wings. But ultimately, like, Astraea just has a really strong silhouette sometimes. And it's great. And here we go. Machinist glam with like the actual like proper vibe look. I do enjoy having this perspective as heck, aiming gun outward, looking smug. The kind of hip thrust out. I think this is part of the... I don't remember if this is part of the battle ready or the victory pose, but like, I'm happy with this screenshot. It's just got a great vibe. Hey, 5 more minutes. I got my mount. I made a thing at some point, threw it on YouTube. This is... I enjoy this. I really want to redo this video, but like get somebody to actually sing it. Because I used Vocaloid stuff. And I'm not very good at tuning Vocaloid stuff. So it's fine as is. I'd really love to recut it, and like pretty much the only thing that I would actually change probably is just get somebody to sing it. Hey, I made it to the top of the jumping puzzle. This was early on in me trying to figure out how to do art reference stuff. And it was like doing these weird turnarounds, full-size stances. Hey, here's that Sage Glam before Caity made me realize it's too good to waste on Sage. Finally got my armor mount. More just attempting to gather reference. I think this one I actually sent off to an artist. So I had attempted to commission some artists before Dan. Both of which were involved with like charity stuff. So it was like give so much to charity, get artist commission. And one of those just kind of petered out, and the other one never really had like a structure around contacting that artist. And it was one of those, like, every time I interacted with them, I just kind of felt like an asshole. Not to say that I was one, but it was just like I didn't have reference ready. I didn't have like strong ideas of anything. So it was just like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. So like ultimately I just kind of stopped trying to contact that artist because I just felt bad. And the other one is just like, I have issues with my emails going to spam. So it's like, I don't know if it's always the question of like, did my emails just go to spam, or did I just not, did they leave me unread? Hey, somebody did some great art. I'm going to open this page elsewhere. just to make sure nothing shows up. Alright, they do not have any other links listed here, so that's unfortunate. Again, with like pose gathering, somebody did a real fun post on some things from 1.0 to 2.0. This guy over in Eastern Thanalan. It was just like, after the calamity, this Gubu just wandered so far out of their usual territory and took with them all of these seeds and whatnot. Proper good lad. When I finally made this reference sheet, well, hey, that was based off of some things done by a Twitter user that they've left, close their account, or have been banned, who knows. But this is a dead link, unfortunately. So I don't remember who it was that I was inspired by their style. And well, hey, first post only 2 years ago. Hot dang. It's she. It says there's more, but there is no more. So, well, hey, that's Astraea on Cohost. Again, like, I kind of decided really early on that I didn't want to follow anybody as Astraea because it's like, I just kind of like going here and having just my posts available and like seeing, okay, here's what I have put out there. And also, like, you know, whenever that last post had been, say, some Dan art or something, it's like either the last post that would be like the first thing that I'd see would be like art or a screenshot I really liked. I'm going to scroll through all of the things I released from draft jail here. Dun, dun. But it's just like, it's just nice logging in to like log into a website and here's your blurbo done up real nice by somebody. That was kind of my co-host experience in a lot of ways. And like, there's some really cool people on Cohost and they've made some incredible things. And I have definitely like poked around, you know, whenever somebody interacted with my posts, I would occasionally like go poke around their account, see what they do. And there's some people that have some real great art, or they do some really cool G posing, and it's just it was just a nice place. And like, it was just a nice place to post things. And I'm very sad Cohost is going away because it was just like, it's just a nice website. It's a nice website that's not being actively ruined. Well, I mean, technically it's being actively ruined by capitalism because, you know, it's shutting down, but it wasn't like the inshitification that is happening across the entirety of the internet everywhere, it feels like. It was just like, here's a cool place to post things, and like, I get nice short static links of like, hey, if I want to link this to somebody, that's the link. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's not a whole lot there. And like, if I want to link specifically to Astraea's account, then it's just this. It's just a nice short link that takes me directly to her space. And it made it really easy and nice to like write all of this art reference stuff and not have it publicly visible, so I could continue noodling away at it while I figured out how to make it good. And I did just like every time I log in, since I wasn't following anybody, it was just like, here's the last thing that I posted and showed it, you know. I took this screenshot for a reason. I like this screenshot. Welcome back, Kurt. It's just like, it's really nice to log in and just like see something that you like, and not like Twitter where it's, you know, log in and see 80 things you don't like and several more things that you don't want to see. And it's just like, no, I like this. This is why I posted it. And it's only my stuff that I'm seeing because I chose not to follow anybody as Astraea. Whereas my main account, I ended up not really using much because I followed some online friends that post a lot. And I don't know, it wasn't the same vibe that I wanted ultimately. And like occasionally I'll like go over to my main account and like poke around and see stuff, and like there's some not safe for work art that somebody will like repost, and that's cool. Like sometimes it's like, oh hey, this is really nice, and sometimes it's like, oh, that's not my jam. But like also Cohost having like this really nice spoiler system that was super easy to use and super easy to like just add, here's what's in this, so that you can know if you want to hit this show post or not. And like, it sure was a website in here. And I miss the post editor already. Like, I had a stream a little bit back of just letting Mario Party play itself while I was working on things. It's like, this is what I was working on. I have been messing around with HTML and CSS and whatnot to essentially take all of my Astraea stuff and try to get it over to not Cohost, because again, unfortunately Cohost is shutting down. So it's like, I now have my own little website. It's notably under construction. It's kind of old school design, which I'm fine with. Like I've been messing with things and trying to do some fancier tricky things, but like yeah. And like right now there's just not much here. It is like, hey, here's the big reference sheet and all of these now with Viper and Pictomancer. So it's like I still have those. Since I'm not on Cohost, I can actually use the hover decorator or whatnot. Bryce doing old school design, surprise. But what? Hey, I actually have like my nice Viper reference, and all of my CSS is like cribbing off of Cohost notes. Like I think my CSS, my CSS for like this general element that is kind of the master of a post is already called a chost, which is just Cohost without the first O, because their CSS is just like nice and clean, and I am trying to crib as much as I can off of it, basically, because it's just a nice space. This is a good screenshot. I have mixed feelings about this glam, but it's a good screenshot. Apparently I left depth of field on, and you can tell because every edge is super blurry. It's probably not coming across at all on stream, and I only have it as an icon file, which I don't know how well that plays with anything. But I did make a little website icon here that I am a fan of. It's just like almost a demon circle, but an A with two hearts. And it's like, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to be using this space for. And it's like, this is probably going to be where this website is probably going to be where I put all of my art reference stuff, because it gives me somewhere that I have like total control over like the display of this stuff. And I can upload large image files. They load kind of slowly. Like you may have seen how slowly this image loaded. And this image actually is 50% the size of the base image, which it links to the full size image, which is rather large. But anyway, like this space, I have full control over things. I can link to all the artists. I can say, hey, look at this Dan art, isn't it neat? Because again, for a first commission, Dan set the standard very, very high. And like ultimately it's not horrible moving things off of Cohost to other spaces. It's like the hardest thing is just like if I pull it from like the Cohost post editor, then it's coming down in markup, which is fine, and it's easy enough to translate markup into HTML, but it is still just like there's a process there, and that's why it's slow going. And I'm also like busy with all sorts of other stuff, so it's like trying to do this and trying to get all of my essentially get all of my Astraea art into the life raft off of Cohost before tomorrow. Ultimately, like I'm at the point where it's like, okay, the reference is safe. I have the core reference and everything. I still have like a lot of screenshots and whatnot that I am very happy with over here. Again, I'm probably going to hell for this edit, but it's also very good. And it's like there's also the question of like what to do about art stuff, because it's like I have the core files that are kicking around on my hard drive, and I did really like having that space on Cohost to put these things to share with other people, and also just enjoy myself from anywhere. And it's like, do I want to bring that over and have that easily accessible, or do I want to like create my secret art archive or anything like that over in my own website space? So yeah, there's a lot of thoughts, and like I've been real sad about Cohost going away, because like again, it's just been such a nice space, and it's been such a great place to like put Astraea things and get like that mild interaction that is just like, hey, several people like this, or hey, somebody liked this, or somebody actually wrote a comment on this, and it's just, I don't know, it's nice to put things out there. And like I know the creative process is supposed to be all about make it for yourself, and like the point is to have created something, but at the same time, good God, it is so nice when somebody actually appreciates something you do. And I say this the timing of me saying this is kind of weird, because I made a dumb video on YouTube, and for whatever reason the algorithm took it up, so it's like it's over 300,000 views at this point. But I don't know, it just feels like on YouTube that feels so hollow. It feels entirely hollow of oh, this one video has this many views because the algorithm did it. It's like, yeah, I made a video and I'm happy with the video for the most part. I wish I had edited certain things before. Like there were certain edits that I didn't make because it was like, nobody watches these things anyway. And then, oh hey, this is of course the video that gets thrown around and picked up by algorithm for some reason. It's like, man, I wish I'd made those edits. But I don't know, it feels like such a hollow thing where it's like, oh, all of these views are just because the algorithm did it, not I made a thing. And it's like, I still have the enjoyment and like the appreciation that people have watched this thing and they've enjoyed it. But also, I feel like I have so little control over what people see over there, I guess. I don't know. I'm rambling. That was kind of the point of the stream, was to ramble. Cohost, ultimately, it was just like a really nice place. And again, in terms of like internet numbers and whatnot, their numbers were doing wild, unheard of amounts of like retention and people coming back regularly and whatnot. But like that ultimately doesn't translate into profitability. And that's unfortunate. And like from again, like other people posting things of just like, hey, here's numbers of like, I put a link on Cohost and here's how many people went from Cohost to my Patreon or whatever. And like they have like the tracking or whatever. And it's like, oh, here's, by percentage, Cohost is like tens of points percentage higher of people clicking on links. And it's wild just like how activated this community was. And I don't know, it's weird to say that because it's like, again, I didn't really follow anybody on Cohost. Like this was basically just my space to post and appreciate Astraea and occasionally see that other people were appreciating her as well. And that made me happy. And I'm going to miss having this space to like go and just like occasionally go poke around, say like Sweetie's art, and go admire what they've been up to. And like, again, I didn't follow anybody, but it's like occasionally you see those same names come up and it's just like, I recognize your name. Let me just go poke around and see like what art you've been doing, see what screenshots you've been posting, those sorts of things. And ultimately, like, I think, I don't know, there's the, do I want to make any final posts on Cohost sort of question. And it's like, I think I'm pretty good. I think this is a fine enough image to leave things on. Like this, just like, yeah, things are over, but let's party. I don't know. I feel like this is a great piece for closing out Astraea's Cohost adventure. This, again, I am so happy with this edit, even though I still feel like I'm going to hell for it. Eggbug is very friend-shaped. It's like over on my main account, I've done like, let me see if I can pull that up super quick. Oh god, it's changing things. Don't change things. Co-host, no. There we go. Eggbug. That's about it. It's just, I have posted a couple things over on my main account, but very few and far between. I had like, one of the things that I did want to do was a write-up of like audio stuff of like, here's how I record audio for my Let's Play series. Just because it's like I can never find just a written tutorial of anything audio, but also anything I write when it comes to tutorial stuff, like so much of it is just like I have no idea what I'm doing. So like this is an entire recipe of how to make this Eggbug thing, and then you get to this part of just like, hey, I don't actually know what this technique is called, do this thing. It's like you're making a scarf, but not. And like that is kind of how my audio post reads as well. Is just like, here's my settings. Are they good? I really don't know. I feel like this is wrong, and I can't find any answers of whether or not it's good. So, well, hey. Also, this little thing is perfectly throwable size. I'm very happy with my little amigurumi Eggbug. I'm still considering making another one that's like more consistent stitching size and proper colors. This one, like, I ended up using red because I already had that yarn set out and balled up, and it was like, oh, this is going to be a prototype anyway. Oh, yes, tiny bee. But yeah, it's just nice having a little Eggbug friend around. Oh, this sure was a website. And I enjoyed it a lot. And I'm sad it's going away. And it's like, at least I have my own space for art stuff. And like, have set up a pillow fort, but it's like, it's under, like, none of this is under Astraea's name is the problem, I think. Is just like, this is my NeoCities, and here's the Astraea section. Whereas, like, this was the only place that I've ever, like, given Astraea her own account, just because it was as simple as, like, click the drop down, hit create new page, and that's it. And it was just like, cool, here's Astraea's space. Oh, man. This was a surprisingly long ramble. But wait, that was Cohost, and I'm going to miss it. I think that's really about the only notes to end on. And also, goddamn, Dan art good. Like, I think that's the main thing of just like, if I'm putting stuff over in my own space, it's like, when I commission artists, it's like, I want to go and shout out and be like, hey, go follow this artist, go commission this artist. And like, Cohost allowed me to do that in a way that was like, it felt like people might actually click on stuff. Whereas Blue Sky, it doesn't have that feeling for me. Like, you know, I think there's all of single digit followers and all that stuff for me over on Blue Sky. And it's like, that's fine. I'm not looking for a large following, but it's also just like, I don't post primarily about Astraea on that account. And it's like, if I do get a commission back and it's like, go start shouting about it, it's like, okay, well, who's listening? And who's going to maybe, like, what good is it me yelling into the void here? Whereas Cohost, it felt like, I don't know, it at least felt different for that aspect of just like, hey, me throwing this Dan art piece might keep somebody, like, might keep Dan in mind for them for future reference or for future commissions, or like any of these other artists that I've had the pleasure of working with. And like, I think that ultimately is what's bumming me out. Maybe, I don't know. Things are weird. That's really about all it comes down to. The world's weird. We can't have nice things. So it's like, ultimately, I don't know. Tell people you enjoy their art. If you can, commission their art. Make art for you. And if you want to share it, find a place that's nicer than Twitter. And yeah. Make cool shit. Post it somewhere. And tell people you like their stuff. I guess that's the moral of the Cohost story. This music does not fit this sort of vibe. just realized what my music's gone on to. Oh, all right. That was in fact a fun little stream for, again, this was so much just for me. Again, there's artists all over in my links in this chat. They're so good. Follow artists, tell them you like their stuff, commission them if you can. And yeah, I think that will do it for me. Kurt, thanks for hanging out. Anybody else that stopped by, hope you had a good time. Acorn, thank you so much for the 6 months of tier 1 subscription. That's wild. Came out of nowhere for me. Yeah. Oh, okay. We're gonna hit a little button here because it is coming around to October tomorrow. So that means it's time to turn off the lights. Let's play some spooky games. I've lost my music. Where is that? Let's get that back in there. Well, hey, spooky month. It's almost here. It's on the doorstep. I generally do spooky game nights in October. We'll see. Will and I have been talking about doing something very dumb. So please look forward to it. And yeah, commission artist. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Oh no, do I not have a spooky version of the in-screen? Where's my spooky version? Yeah, there we go. Okay.